to understand what it means to be a global citizen. Being a global citizen means being a productive citizen of the world. It means connecting with your passion and using that passion to serve others. It means being able to realize your full potential, and in doing so, having a massive impact in your home, at your business, and ultimately in the world at large. Except you don't need to travel from Brooklyn to Africa. You can do it right in your own backyard. But I promise if we follow the steps from the stoop outlined here today, it will help us become a better service to ourselves, to our family, and ultimately to the world. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? I knew that you could. Did anyone ever see Saturday Night Fever? That movie was filmed on my block. John Travolta grew up across the street from the house that I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And in Brooklyn, it is the melting pot of the world. Over 150 nationalities, people from everywhere coming together to live, to work, to survive, to thrive. And in Brooklyn, we all live on a street which we call the block. And on our block, in front of a house, there's a place where we sit that's called a stoop. Now this stoop, it's a very special place. Those are my friends that I grew up with. We shared 13 nationalities: Russian, Irish, Italian, Puerto Rican, Korean, Muslim, Jewish, Filipino, Puerto Rican, Lebanese, Greek, American. We all grew up on the same block. We all hung out on the same 5-foot wide stoop. It was a place where we could come together to talk about whatever we wanted. We knew we weren't going to get bothered by our parents or our teachers or our girlfriends, because we never had any. It wasn't all peaceful, right? We were young kids. We had fights. We got mad at each other. We dug at each other. But it was a place where we built relationships across seeming cultural divides. This stoop, it was so special, and there was only 3 rules on it. 3 rules on the positive stoop. Listening, deep listening, not the listening that we normally do, right? Which is our friend, our client, or someone calls us and they have a problem, and we listen for about 5 seconds, and then we're about to jump in with the answer, and we might pretend like we're listening, but really what we're doing is we're biting our tongue, because we've already figured out in our head what's best for them. That's not listening. Deep listening, where we really listen to our friend or our client's needs. I never learned a thing when I was talking. The second rule is non-judgment. Now, that's a tough one. Now, in this industry, you've all seen it. Most of you have traveled internationally. We can see the farther that we get from our own zip code, things are done more and more differently. And we don't necessarily need to agree with the way things are done or how people behave, but we do need to respect their beliefs. And 3, a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones. Not only physically, right? Not only crossing borders, but internally, pushing ourselves beyond our limits, which is the only way that we'll ever grow. As a matter of fact, what is this room right here today? What can we call it? A stoop. A stoop is a place where you can come together with people that you may or may not know, work out solutions to problems, and build relationships. And most importantly, a stoop is not necessarily a physical place. It's not necessarily a set of stairs or the shade of a tree or the bench in a wrestling dojo. A stoop is a state of mind that you carry with you in your heart wherever you go. So you have the opportunity to create stoops in your clubs around the world, in this room here today, with your family, out in the world. In my final year of college, I got an audition for the largest television show in the world, The Sopranos. I had a scene with AJ, one of the stars of the show. And this is the culmination of my career. And all of a sudden, all that joy, all that fulfillment that I thought I'd felt, it all of a sudden all faded away. The second we wrapped for the day, all of a sudden it meant nothing to me. And I began to think, why am I in this business? What am I doing with my life? I just booked a role on a show that I never even thought I'd have a chance at in a million years. Did you ever pour yourself into something, whether, I don't know, if it's a new position or maybe even another person, a new place to live, and you thought it was going to bring you happiness, and you finally got it, and it wasn't what you thought it was, you know, maybe you were happy for like a second or a day, or maybe a week, and then it changed, and it wasn't what you thought it was. Because I realized that happiness could never come from things outside of me. It could never come from the outside world. It had to come from inside. And what I didn't realize is that happiness really, in the way that we look at it, comes from the desire and the action of using our gifts to serve others in any career that we embark on. Now what I want you to do is I want you to find a question that is in your heart, something that's been on your mind for quite some time now, if possible. It could be something in your personal life, a relationship, it can be in your business, family, it doesn't matter. Find something, maybe that text message you were trying to ignore, but I just brought it up, or that email, or that phone call. Now, here's the thing, with this question that you're looking at, you know that there's two ways you could go with it. You know that already. You're just trying to figure out which way to go. So let's just see how we feel. Let's see how we feel going those two very different ways. So we're going to look at option A. Just pick one of the options. What you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes, and I just want you to take 3 deep breaths into that option on my count, and notice how you feel in your gut. And you're going to look for one thing. You're going to notice if you are feeling a sense of relief or discomfort. What do you feel when you imagine yourself living through that scenario? Raise your hand if you are at least a little more clear as to which way to go. Open your eyes, look around the room. See how many people have their hands up. More than half of the room with 30 seconds of ignoring the noise. We already have all the answers. All we have to do is uncover them. You see, we have 3 decision makers in our body. 3. We already have them. We don't need to do anything. They already exist. Our first decision maker is our head. And our head is very logical. It's what makes sense. It's what we can write down on a piece of paper. Have you ever had to make a tough decision and you made a list of pros and cons and it didn't work? Almost never works because we're operating from up here. Our other decision maker is our heart. And our heart can be, well, gosh, it can be very emotional. And it can just long for things. And then I start listening to Taylor Swift and it's just not a good day. Our other decision maker is our, anyone point to it? It's our gut. Because the gut taps into the subconscious mind. So it's crucial to tap into that in any decision. To be a global citizen, we have to ignore the noise. What is that release that you have in your life? What's that activity that you can go to when you're stressed out to get away from your problems? Do you know what I mean? Are you an artist? Are you a painter? Are you a chef? Do you play music? What is it? For me, I'm an athlete. And I played sports, and that's what I did with my friends when we grew up. That's what I knew. So when my dad got sick and all these things happened, now all of a sudden that one thing that I had that brought me some sanity was taken away. Not only that, but the very activity brought me stress because now I was going to physical therapy and I just couldn't take it anymore. And when I finally hit that wall, I realized that I had something inside of me all along that told me which way to go. I had an inner compass, and we all had that. But sometimes we need to face just the pit of despair before we will even think about going for what we want. And I'm going to illustrate that with 2 volunteers to show you exactly what I mean. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, Atlantic City.
Good morning.
There you go. What's your name?
I'm Gus.
Gus, Chris, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Ashley.
Ashley, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian, I'm Chris. Nice to meet you, Brian. Okay, Haley, you're going to stand
Taylor,
right.
what?
Taylor, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Taylor, right here. You wonder why I don't have a girlfriend. Okay, now let me explain to you guys. You are my east and you are my west, and I want to go east, okay? I'm going to walk you through a very short, very simple explanation of how I felt when I was facing challenges in my life. Maybe it'll resonate. It's really simple. All you guys have to do is say one word. Brian, every time I take a step towards you, that's sort of like me making a good decision in my life, a decision that I agree with. So Brian, when I take a step towards you, for every step that I take, you're going to just say the word yes. And every time I take a step that way, you're going to say
Yes.
No, you're going to say no.
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 But don't say like no like a chipmunk. Like be very serious. Like no. Like. Who said that? Switch positions! Switch positions! Switch positions. Hey. I just gotta take off my blazer. I'm gonna just walk you through this path because I want you to leave here today with something practical that you can take in your life. And I hope that 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you remember this. And you remember that you don't need to call somebody, you don't need to email somebody. You can find out the answer to the challenge you're facing on your own. And here's how. Here I am, I'm in high school, I start acting. Yeah. This is kind of fun, I'm enjoying it. Yeah. But deep down, there's this little itch that's like, Chris, why don't you travel the world, see what's out there, connect with other cultures. No, I think I'm going to keep acting.
No.
But you know what? I'm getting some success. Even though that didn't feel so great, I get a full scholarship to an amazing college. Yeah. I start booking some roles. Yeah. And before long, I book a role on the hit TV show The Sopranos. Yeah. But I feel so unfulfilled.
No.
I know what I'll do. I'll move to Africa.
Yes.
This is great. What a wonderful experience. I learned so much.
Yes.
I'm going to make a TV show.
Yes. Sorry, man.
Yes, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make films. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to bridge the gap between people and cultures. And now I come back to New York, and my father is really sick. And I forget about Tanzania. I'm not going to touch it. I'm putting that footage away. And I'm gonna be a teacher. I'm gonna work in a law firm.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I know what I'll do. I'll start somewhere. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll take the film and I'll start editing it.
Yes.
All right. Wow, that actually feels much better. Okay, it's accepted to festivals around the world. Wow, this actually feels good.
Yes. Yes.
I feel so much relief. Before long, I'm invited to speak in
Yes.
the United Nations. I finished my first film for PBS on the Pine Ridge Reservation, and before long, I traveled to Mongolia to live as a nomad for National Geographic.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
I just want you to know that I love you. I'll call you later.
No.
No, Danny, we're done. Can we have a round of applause for East and West? So good. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Excellent job. But isn't that funny and also scary that that's how far we have to go away from what our core is telling us before we finally wake up? Do you know what's a very dangerous place to be? Right around here. Do you know what I mean? When it's sort of safe, you know? It's sort of, it's sometimes it's okay, it's like a little better than average, and then sometimes it's not so good, but it's just bearable, you know? It's comfortable, you know? My relationships with my coworkers, it's okay, and sometimes we have some quarrels, but it gets better, but it's just okay. We're not really that connected, but it's okay. My potential, well, I'm doing okay. It's very dangerous. And over there, if we're not aware, then we never improve. But over there, we finally can see where we have to go. And it's okay, it's totally fine. You know, the rules of the stoop do not only apply to our interactions with others, but it applies to our interaction with ourselves. Listening to ourselves, tapping into that unconscious, you know, those unconscious biases that we have. Not judging ourselves. Hey, you know what? I went west, I was trying to go east. But how do we know which way is east if we never go west in the first place?